Michael Finkel, The Art Thief, a true story of love, crime, and a dangerous obsession. Dive into the fascinating tale of Stéphane Breitwieser, an unassuming man who became one of history's most notorious art thieves, driven by an insatiable obsession for beauty and ownership. Set against the backdrop of Europe's most vulnerable museums, this narrative, based on Michael Finkel's The Art Thief, unveils the double life of Breitwieser and his accomplice girlfriend, Anne-Catherine Klein-Klaus. What begins as modest stealing from poorly guarded local museums spirals into a shocking accumulation of treasures worth billions. Through their escapades, Finkel explores themes of passion, trust, and betrayal, all interwoven with the couple's personal trials and shifting dynamics. Expect a gripping exploration of the human psyche, the cracks within cultural institutions, and the unraveling of a deceptive facade that hid hundreds of pieces of invaluable art. Join us to witness a remarkable journey that questions whether obsession could justify the greatest art crimes of a generation.
Artful Deceptions. Strolling through quaint museums in Europe, you might overlook Stéphane Breitwieser and Anne-Catherine Klein-Klaus as just another pair of cultured tourists. Clad in elegant second-hand designer wear, their inconspicuous appearances shroud a world of deception. Yet, keen eyes might catch the oversized bag slung over Anne-Catherine's shoulder or wonder why Stéphane prefers a bulky overcoat in mild weather. These details hint at their hidden agenda, one fueled by weekend visits to modest, undersecured museums across Switzerland, Germany, Belgium, and France. Driving from the Alsace region, where Stéphane still resides rent-free in his mother's attic, and Anne-Catherine works as a nursing assistant, the duo exploits a lack of security in these regional museums. The very vulnerability of these institutions, trusting in visitors' appreciation for art over rigorous security, becomes their playground. Stéphane utilizes his weekdays with laser-sharp focus, poring over auction catalogs and delving into the State Library in Strasbourg. He meticulously plans their targets, artworks inadequately protected yet immensely valuable. Their heists are clever and precise. The bulges escaping the confines of their clothing might be antiques, an exquisite piece of 18th-century silver, or a delicate Renaissance ivory sculpture. On days when their eyes are set on grander prizes, a medieval crossbow or an enormous tapestry, Stéphane becomes particularly inventive. He identifies windows from which these treasures can be discreetly dropped to softer landings below, with hedges or shrubs carefully scouted beforehand to cushion their descent. Their success story rests upon the predictable weaknesses of these smaller museums, where reduced staffing and blind spots in security allow them to slip through unnoticed. The trust that these cultural havens place in their guests is repeatedly betrayed by Stéphane and Anne-Catherine, whose weekend escapades are an affront to the appreciation of art they so stylishly mimic. Stolen Vows. When Stéphane Breitwieser met Anne-Catherine at a birthday party in 1991, he discovered an interest in a person that surpassed his fondness for objects. Raised in a well-off Alsatian family, Stéphane had always felt isolated, his weekends spent indulging in the thrill of archaeological finds with his grandfather. Moments spent unearthing relics ignited a passion for history and collecting, leading him to hoard minor treasures in a small chest. Following his parents' brutal divorce, Stéphane's life took a sharp turn. His family's grand life crumbled into the confines of a modest suburban home, dressed only in basic IKEA furnishings. The contrast was stark, stripping life of its luster, except when Stéphane immersed himself in the aura of art and history. These precious creations sparked joy unlike any other. The pivotal moment was a flintlock pistol he stumbled upon during a short-term museum guard job. Notably intricate with a walnut handle and silver inlay, it seemed to beckon Stéphane with the allure of personal attachment, a relic longing to be truly appreciated. Fascinated by the gaps in museum security, Stéphane saw this as a chance to reclaim what felt stolen by his father's departure, the beauty of retained art collections. Stealing this pistol was his defiance, a statement of personal victory over his father whom he perceived to have robbed him of an affluent past. When the theft went unnoticed, it fueled Stéphane's audacity. With Anne-Catherine by his side and the sly aid of a Swiss Army knife, the duo roamed Europe's small museums, spiriting away art into their humble attic haven. Their unassuming appearance masked their audacious acts. On one occasion, while Stéphane tucked a sword beneath his coat and Anne-Catherine stashed a hefty sculpture in her bag, a guard's suspicion dissolved when they nonchalantly queried about the museum café. Who would dare dine in a museum if their intention was to steal? Thus, their treasure trove swelled, their attic rooms burgeoned with an astonishing array: Renaissance paintings, medieval armaments, delicate ivory works, tapestries, altarpieces, chalices, bejeweled linens, rare coins, a covert collection valued up to $1 billion. Each weekend, Stéphane and Anne-Catherine returned to this secret vault, weaving tales of flea market bargains to Stéphane's unsuspecting mother. Unaware of the veritable treasure chest above her, she never ventured into their room. Had she done so, the gravity of her son's choices would have been undeniable. In his quest for a beauty that resonated deeply, Stéphane crafted a hidden world, one that thrived on the age-old allure of history's treasures. Artful Evasions. The audacity of two art thieves grows with their success, turning them into opportunistic offenders unfazed by the risks involved. One afternoon, emboldened by his past triumphs, Breitwieser brazenly steals a Dutch masterpiece from a gallery in Lucerne, despite the police station directly opposite. When confronted, he feigns ignorance, blaming an impulsive admiration for art. Remarkably, his tearful confession of a crime of passion convinces the Swiss court, and he receives merely a fine and a ban, not the harsh punishment one might expect. For Anne-Catherine, however, the reality of their situation hits hard. Once a willing participant in their escapades, she now sees impending doom. The arrest is a precursor to the downfall she long subconsciously anticipated. Her growing unease about their lifestyle, compounded by discovering a pregnancy, leads her to make a life-altering decision. With Stéphane's mother, she travels to the Netherlands for an abortion, a secretive act overshadowed by yet another theft, a symbolic display of Stéphane's unyielding obsession. During their adventures, Anne-Catherine discreetly collects evidence of their crimes, newspaper clippings that map out their trail across Europe. She knows their luck is running out as investigations rise in response to the string of thefts from underprotected museums and historical sites. Yet, authorities remain baffled without any stolen pieces emerging in underground markets. The couple's unimposing demeanor and ability to act calm under scrutiny has shielded them from significant suspicion. But the net is inevitably closing in. Continuously eluding capture and flying under the radar grows increasingly unfeasible as their actions attract attention. Their cleverness and cunningness have kept the authorities at bay during countless escapades, but their heightened visibility now leaves them vulnerable to detection. As the pattern of theft becomes undeniable, the thrill of their escapades gives way to the inescapable consequences of a life lived with reckless abandon. Art thief's downfall. While Anne-Catherine's caution grows stronger, pressing Stéphane Breitwieser to tread lightly and use gloves to avoid evidence, his obsession with art theft intensifies. He spends weekends traveling solo, amassing rare pieces that suffocate under his bed and in cramped corners. Renaissance artworks, destined for grandeur, decay in dampness, their once pristine condition sacrificed for Breitwieser's reckless indulgence. In 2001, Breitwieser's theft escalates to taking a bugle from Richard Wagner's museum, a move he admits went awry as he neglected to wear gloves, leaving behind incriminating fingerprints. The theft draws immediate attention from the museum, prompting swift police intervention. Crucially, these fingerprints match a previous art gallery heist, alerting authorities across databases. Tensions peak as Anne-Catherine convinces Breitwieser to return and erase the trace of his blunder. A seemingly routine jogger escalates the scene by reporting Breitwieser's suspicious presence outside the museum to the authorities. As Anne-Catherine discreetly attempts to erase evidence, the police arrive, catching Breitwieser and leading to his arrest. While confined in a dim basement cell, he refuses to speak, yet Anne-Catherine remains free. Initially grateful for her escape from arrest, Breitwieser soon succumbs to isolation, leading him to divulge every secret of his thievery. The confession gives investigators the leverage needed to secure a search warrant. Despite Breitwieser's crimes pointing towards millions in art stuffed in his mother's attic, detectives find nothing. The grand, illicit collection of treasures has vanished, leaving behind an echoing emptiness and the unraveling of a prolific art thief's empire. The Hidden Heist. In the bewildering weeks following Stéphane Breitwieser's arrest, the full extent of his audacious art theft remained shrouded in mystery. Discreet actions taken by his accomplice, Anne-Catherine, and his mother, Mireille Stengel, reveal a desperate attempt to conceal Breitwieser's crimes. Anne-Catherine promptly ended her connection with Stéphane, while his mother clandestinely collaborated in removing any incriminating evidence. As the police closed in, a fortuitous discovery by a retiree in Alsace initiated the unearthing of Breitwieser's hidden treasures from the murky Rhône-Rhine Canal, revealing a cache of artworks worth millions. Despite the substantial recovery, a number of priceless pieces, including the elusive Madeleine de France, have never been seen again. It's widely speculated that Mireille, in an effort to shield her son, may have destroyed these artifacts in a countryside bonfire. Even under scrutiny in Switzerland, she maintained that the paintings never existed, a claim that bewildered even her son. Breitwieser faced justice with a light sentence, a reflection of European legal principles which prioritize non-violent crimes with milder repercussions, irrespective of the cultural value of the stolen goods. While imprisoned, Stéphane sought solace and reconciliation with his estranged father, projecting a narrative of artistic passion driving his actions. However, his ambitions and cunning nature came to the fore once again when he was caught shoplifting from a high-end store shortly after his release. This brief taste of freedom ended as swiftly as it began, with Stéphane swiftly returning to prison, leaving unanswered questions about the lost treasures and the true motives behind his peculiar obsession with art.
Stéphane Breitwieser's story, as chronicled in Michael Finkel's The Art Thief, is a chilling reflection on the perilous line between passion and obsession. Through a web of clever tactics and sheer audacity, Breitwieser revealed the fragility of museum security across Europe while amassing stolen art worth billions. Yet, his story is as much about the price of obsession as it is about crime. It highlights how personal relationships crumbled under the weight of fear and uncertainty. Anne-Catherine's shift from partner to skeptic and the role of his unsuspecting mother underlined the emotional toll of a life driven by the compulsion to possess beauty. This tale of art theft, encompassing thrill, betrayal, and eventual downfall, compels us to question the value we place on cultural heritage and the legal systems that protect it. It serves as a poignant reminder of the potent, often destructive, power of human desires.